Hello everyone. Today I would like to talk about traditional teaching methods and modern teaching methods. What is traditional teaching? Well, traditional teaching is based on a teacher-centered approach. It has been around for decades and is used in a majority of schools worldwide. Also, students are passive recipients of information. And not only that, but the content and delivery of the lesson tend to become the focus of the teacher in this type of traditional teachings. And the students show their knowledge through repetitions or drills, and memorization is a big thing. And in this case, as we know that the students are passive recipients, then the student become most of as a listener and observant. What is modern teaching? Well, in this case, it's the opposite of traditional, and it's based on a student-centered approach, and it became famous. This type of methods, modern methods, since the 21st century started, and it has been a huge development in education. Also, it focuses on understanding and exploration. In this case, students are active creators of knowledge, and it uses a lot of technology. Now, let's talk about our teaching methodologies. Here we have the traditional methodologies, and on the other side, the modern methodologies. In our traditional methodologies, we have the first one, teacher-centered method, in which it's also known as chalk and talk, where the teacher uses the chalkboard or the whiteboard, and also the teacher, it's the one always talking, and the student is always as passive recipient. And she's also, or the teacher is also in charge of the classroom and the environment. The next one, the grammar translation method. In this case, the mother tongue is used inside of the classroom to be able to communicate between the teacher and the students, and the lesson also, and in order to teach the target language. The natural approach is, of course, the opposite of grammar translation method. It's also called direct method, where the target language is it's the one used in the classroom. Mother tongue is not allowed, and if the way to transmit the knowledge is through aids and actions, but not mother tongue to communicate, explain. Uh, then we have the audiolingual method, in which um, there is a set of drills, and the teacher focuses more on listening and speaking than grammar or writing. So, in this case, mother tongue is being used to be able to communicate also, but there's a lot of repetition. And also, I can add a few more that are not on the screen, but also we have the silent way. It's very interesting, and where the teacher is it's giving the student a set of um, words, for example, or pictures showing but and acting but not saying anything. So the student has to say the word, say the phrase. Um, Also, we have total physical response, and we know that that's performed through aids, and also Suggestopedia. It's a very interesting one because it uses music to help the student learn. And then on the other side, we have our modern teaching methods where we have the student center method, in which is also activity based in teaching, and it's used to get the learners fully involved. So the student become the main, he becomes the one in charge of his or her own knowledge. And also we have the flip classroom method, in which the student is able to go home and watch a video or educate himself, and then come up the next day and present a set of questions and work on homework or their problems. So it's flip. In traditional method, normally you go to the school and you are given a lesson, and then the teacher give you homework to work at home. But in this case, is the opposite. And then we have base problem learning, in which sorry. Uh, the learner face different events and problems in which he is immersed into the problems and in the world. So it's the same thing for project method, but in this case, the student is asked to present a project of a certain thing that is happening in his or her surroundings. So this is a little bit of the methodologies in traditional and modern society. Also, we have our advantage and disadvantages um, in teaching methods. Here we have the traditional one. Let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of the traditional methods. The advantages, we have better classroom management, of course, because the teacher is it's she's managing, she's monitoring the environment, the classroom, so she is in control. Students know how the class will be rolled, of course, and they stay focused because of the atmosphere, because the teacher is it's in charge. Then maybe the atmosphere will be more calm because of good classroom management, and there is a lot more of organization and control of the activities and every detail. It's cheaper because you use books, copies, and things that you can handle. And in this case, we don't need, for traditional ones, for example, no computers, not this type of really like high expensive technologies. In disadvantages, we have a lack of social development. This is a huge problem right here with traditional, because they are so focused into the lesson, but they forget their students that they need to socialize, that they need to develop these skills. And also, we have some students might stay behind and fail examinations. So this is a huge problem right here also. where the teacher is so focused into the lesson and getting through all the lesson, the topics, and that some students might not be able to stay at the same pace, and they will fail at the end. And there is a lack of class engagement also. In the modern side, for teaching methods, the advantages that we have here, that the student is the center, active they are active learners, they do develop social skills, so that's a good thing about the modern methods, and they work at their own pace. Teacher and students relationship is prioritized. Use of tech or technology, and preferable learning styles like visuals, auditory, kinesthetic. Um, it's more engaged and motivated. And here we have the disadvantages, where the classroom management can get out of hand or out of control, of course, because the students are given a little bit more of liberty to learn. So there will be more like of not chaotic, but it can get out of hand, can be a little loud. And get also they can get distracted easily with computers or cell phones or other things that are being um, presented to the students, and it costs more because they have to find ways to help this student to advance. So they need computer labs to develop their homework or the lesson, or computers or screen or a projector, so it costs a little bit more. Some aspects to take into consideration. So in this case, our audience will be very important, because we have to know to which level of students we are going to be teaching. And in this case, for public and private school system inside, it depends on who our audience is and which level are they on. Also, we have to see if they need a diagnostic test to see their level, because we cannot go into a public school and go to a sixth grade level, where I'm going to be using for example, the direct method. I cannot do that. So I have to think on, okay, which method am I going to be applying in a public school? Or, for example, if I go to a private school and their knowledge and they have a really high level of English, then I can use the direct approach. And so we have to get to know our audience. Also, the type of curriculum or syllabus um, that we have to keep in mind and ask whenever we go to a school. We have to see how they manage the class, or how the school is set up. For example, in a public school, normally you'll find these traditional methods. So you have to see what type of methods they use, if they allow you to, become with this modern type of method, if they let you use it, and you have to see all that before you prepare your lesson. And the classroom equipment. See, if I'm preparing a lesson where I will be projecting a video, and I don't have a projector inside of my classroom, then that's a um, that's a negative. For example, against my lesson for that day. So I have to find another way where I can show the students the video or present the lesson. Maybe if I can use a big screen, then I can use a computer, or I can present them through a, a photocopy, or I can do another way to present that lesson. So there are a few aspects to consider. So I think these three are the main one that we should pay attention before we prepare our lesson into a public or private school system. And before I leave, I want to share a quote with you. It says, "Tell me and I forget. Teach me and I may remember. Involve me and I learn." By Benjamin Franklin. Thank you and goodbye.